Welcome to the part 5 of this series, and in this video we are going to be looking at data types and methods. So as you normally know, I'm going to create a new file here. I will call it part5.py, so which is where I'll be writing the code for this class, and also I'll be running my code in my terminal here. So now we'll be looking at data types and methods. So what is data type and what is method? Data type is the kind of value you store to your variable. You know, when we do our part 1, we talk about variable names, and we talk about something like name equals to Isaac, like this. So let me zoom in a bit. So this is it. So we'll talk about something like this, which is name equals to Isaac. So you know, when we're doing our part 1, we said this is the value and this is the variable, right? So we'll talk about you assign a value to the variable. So but now in this class we're talking about data type, and what I just told you data type is the kind, or you can say the type of value. So the type of this value is what we call data type. So we have different type of value, or we have different kind of value. So you know, when we're still doing variable, we did something like age equals to 20, something like this. So this data type is a string, this data type is an integer. So we have different kind of data types, so we'll be doing it in this class. So what is a method? A method is a function under a class. Now I'm not going to be talking about OOP here, but let me just give us a brief overview. You know, when we get to class, we'll talk about OOP, but a brief overview is that Python is regarded as an OOP. Now what is OOP? OOP means object-oriented programming. So in OOP, you call everything an object. That means everything is an object. So example of object is dog. So dog is an object. A car is an object. So in Python programming, everything is regarded as an object. And as an object, we have what we call attributes. So you can say, okay, attribute is color. So color is an attribute. You can say height is an attribute, or the length is an attribute. Then we now have what we call method. So method is like what that object can do, right? So what that object can do is what you call method. So method is actually a function. A function is like a verb. So but this is not for class, so I won't be talking about those things, but I'm just giving you a little intro into that. So but for this class, we will be looking at data type and method. So for what I've just told you, data type is the kind, or you can say is the type of value you store to your variable. The method is a function under a class. So that means what we are trying to deal with now in this tutorial now is that this is a class. This is also an object. A class or an object, they are the same thing. So this is a class. So the method under this class, we'll be looking at it. Okay, so like what I said earlier, we have different kind of data. So let me just give us a overview. So this is a string. This is a string. This is just an overview. Then we are going to go over each of them in detail. So this is a string. String is anything inside a quote. So this is the opening quote. This is the closing quote. So anything inside a string is regarded. Anything inside a quote is regarded as a string. So age equals to 20. This is integer. Then if we do something like rating equals to 4.5, this is a float. This is a float. That is the data type is float. If we say users equals to Isaac and James, this is what we call lists. Now I will still come over them again, but I'm just giving us a brief overview of this data type. If we say numbers equals to 1, 2, 3. This is called a tuple. This is a tuple. If we say is underscore log in equals to true, this is called a boolean. Then if we say profile, let me scroll down a bit. If you say profile, you say name is Isaac, you say age is 20. This is a dictionary. So this is a dictionary. So if I choose, yours is something like, okay, new number. Let's say new underscore number equals to no, I will use this one. I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a set. So this is just a brief overview of the common data type you have in Python. So we have the string. String is anything inside a quote. So this quote can be single, it can be double, it can be triple. So anything inside a quote is regarded as a string. We have integer. So this is example of an integer, a number. So these two, they are both number, but you see, when we'll be doing this data type, we'll just do it as a number. But both of them are number. But this one, specific name is integer because it does not have a point. But this one that have a point is regarded as a float. So you see it here. So we also have lists. How do you identify a list? You have what we call square bracket. So this is the opening square bracket. Let me zoom in a bit. So this is the opening square bracket, and this is the closing square bracket. So anything inside is regarded as a list. Like, so this is a list of items. So we have what we call tuple. So tuple is this your bracket you know normally. So anything inside is regarded as a tuple. So it is still like this list, having comma after the second item, comma, but it is not using this square bracket. It's using the bracket you normally. So this is bracket. Then we have boolean. So boolean is true or false. So it's login equals to true. So this data type is boolean. Like what I told you about data type. Data type is the kind of value you are storing to your variable. So this data type is boolean. So this one is dictionary. So just like you know your normal dictionary, you know, you look a name or the name of a word, you will see the meaning of the word. So this one is like your normal dictionary that you know. So we have name, then the value is Isaac. Like, so you use colon to separate the variable from the value. So in other words, a dictionary have what we call key value pair. So this is the key, this is the value. So it have what we call key value pair. This is the key, which is the variable, this is the value. So key value pair. So this is a dictionary. So if you see the symbol used here is what we pronounce as curly brace. C-U-R-L-Y, curly brace. So this is the opening and this is the closing. So this is a dictionary. So this one is a set. It also uses curly brace, but it do not have key value pair inside. So use curly brace just like the dictionary, but does not have key value pair inside. So this is just a brief overview of the common data type we use in Python programming. So now, how can you identify the kind of data you are working with? So I will just come to my terminal and I will type Python to invoke my interactive share. So this is my Python interactive share. Let me zoom in a bit. So how do you identify the kind of value or the kind of data you are working with? How do you know? We have what we call type. We have a built-in function, or should I say a built-in method called type. So what this type does is that when you put a variable or when you put a value into the type, it gives you the type of value it is. So let me show you. So this is type. So this is the bracket I'm talking about. So So inside here, this space you are seeing here, let me use my mouse to show you this space you are seeing here. Inside this place, when you put type like this, inside here, any value you put inside, it gives you the data type it is. So now if I should say, if I put quotes here, remember anything inside quotes is regarded as a string. If I put quotes here and I say Isaac and press enter, it shows us string. That means the type of this value is a string. If I should write type again, then inside the type I put 20 and press enter. You see it shows us string, as in, int, like integer. If I should type this again, and inside I put 4.5, it shows us float. That means the data type is what? A float. So I have this again. And now inside I put the opening square bracket and closing square bracket. Then inside I do something like Isaac, just like we did when we're doing just like we did here. Look at it here. So I'm just trying to show you how you know this data type. Even without seeing the data type, how do you know it? So that's what we are just looking at. So if I put James here, it tells you lists, right? So this is a list. If I should do the same again, and inside I put this, you see now I put number bracket inside. This is another bracket I put inside. This is it here. So inside this bracket now I put 1, 2, 1, 3, 5. Just press enter. You see it shows tuple, right? So this is tuple. Let's do the same again. And inside I will write true. I can also write false, but let me just write true. You see it show bool, which is boolean. Now let's do the same again. And inside now we put this curly brace. This is the opening curly brace. See, this is the opening and the closing curly brace. So inside the curly brace, I will put name. I'll put Isaac, comma. Now remember, when you are writing dictionary, you use this colon. You see this colon here. Use colon to separate the key from the value. Now I will go over each of these data type in detail, showing us method, but I'm just giving you an overview of it. So now let me come here. I say age, say 20, and press enter. So you see it shows dit. That is short form for dictionary. Now let me do another one. Type. The inside it now, I will put this same curly brace, but now it's not going to be a key value pair again. Instead, it's just going to be a series of number. So you see, we have sets. So this is basically how you know the type of data or the kind of value you are working with. This is just how you know it. Now you may be surprised, okay, I'm just writing a value inside. What about if it's a variable name? So if it's a variable name, it's still the same thing. For example, if you say name equals to Isaac like this, but now you want to know the type of value that is this variable name, you just say type. And inside this type, you write name like this and press enter. You see it, it shows you that it's a string. So this is how you know the type of data you are working with. Now let's go over each of these data type in detail. So I'm going to be starting with string. So from there we'll move to number, we'll move to list, just like that. So what I will do now, I will just okay, let me still leave here like this. So let's work on string. Let's talk about string. So like as I told us earlier, string is any character inside the quote. Now the quote can be single quote, it can be double quote, it can be triple quote. So as far as already inside a quote, it is regarded as a string. So now if I should say something like new name, name equals to James. So I want to use triple quotes now. Come here, change it to triple quotes. So you see, so this is a string, this is triple quote, this is a string, this is double quote. Let me come here and say old name Mike. So this is a string but single quote. This is a string, double quote, this is a string, triple quote. They are all regarded as a string. If I should come here and say age equals to 20, this is integer according to what we have learned before. But anything that make me to come here and put a opening single quote, closing single quote, it's now regarded as a string. So it's no longer integer, it's now a string. If I should say something like is login equals to true, this is a boolean. But anything that will make me to put quotes to round it, it is now a string, no longer a boolean. It is now a string. So string is anything that is inside the quote. Now we'll be dealing on the methods of a string. So that means the method that apply to that string. So, and what is the role or what is the function of a method? Method allow you to manipulate a string. Method allow you to analyze a string, like not just to string, to any data type. The work of the method is what I summarize as CRUD. So something like this. I will just say method, all right. I want to type, but let me just say, so method do what I call CRUD, CRUD. So just summarize it, just summarize the role of a method to CRUD. And CRUD, the C is create, then we have retrieve, we have update, and we have delete. So the role of method is to do one of these things. Either is creating that data, or it is retrieving that data, or it is updating that data, or it is deleting the data. So that is the role of method. So basically this method is to manipulate. So when somebody uses the word manipulate, you should know if you want to expand that word manipulate, you can expand it into this category. So the whole essence of method is to manipulate the data, and it can manipulate data by either creating a new data from it, or retrieving a specific value or a specific, something from it, or it can update it, probably adding another value into it, or maybe removing value from it, that is updating, or it can delete the data totally. So this is just the summary of what method does. So as we are doing different data type and their method now, just have this in back of your mind that what method does is to either create, retrieve, update, or delete. So all the methods we are going to be looking at, they fall into one of this category. So just have that in back of your mind. So like I said earlier, we are starting with string. So what I will just do, let me come over to my interactive share. So now I told you this is interactive share. Please, this is not terminal, this is your interactive share. And I've explained to you why it is called interactive. It's called interactive in the sense that when you give it a request, it gives you the response immediately. That is interactive, like interactive share. So this is Python interactive share. Okay. Now, what we want to be doing, we want to be exploring different methods that apply to string. So we'll be working with data type called string, and we are going to be exploring different methods that work with this string. And as I told us earlier, the reason of this method is to either create, retrieve, update, or delete the data or the data type. So that is what it's actually doing. So that is the role of method. So you just summarize it to manipulate the data. So the role of method is to manipulate the data. And that manipulate can mean different things. It can mean deleting, it can mean updating a value, changing, things like that. So now I'm using the interactive share. Why? Why am I using interactive share? The reason being that I don't want to be, for each method I want to be doing, I don't want to be writing the code here. Then I'll be coming to my terminal to run it. So instead, let me just be writing them in my interactive share so that you'll be giving us a response as soon as possible, right? So let's begin. So we are looking at a string and its method. What I will write now, let me say title. Title equals to, let's say, welcome to my blog. I will, on purpose, write the blog like this. The reason why I write it like this, so I can use it to show us certain things. So I'm writing this blog like this on purpose. So now what I just did now is that I store the value welcome to my blog to the variable title. And you already know that I've explained to us this is a string because it's inside the quote. So now I want to show you method that work with it. So if I should say print, now print is a built-in function that just displays something on the screen. So inside the print, which is inside here, you put what you want to display on it. So if I should maybe put something like good, I press enter, you see it display good on the screen. So that is basically what print does. So anything you want to display, you put it inside the brackets. So now what I'm going to do now is write print, put the bracket. Now inside the brackets, I will say title. Now you know what it will show now. Like if I should press enter, it will display welcome to my blog, which is what the value that I store to the variable title. But what we are exploring now is method, which are the method that apply to this string. So I will press up. When you press up in your keyboard is to return back the code you have written before. So I will press up. Now it's up to put just title. I'll put title.upper. So this is title.upper. So .upper is a method, like upper is a method that converts all character to uppercase. So if I should press enter, now you see it has manipulated the title that was before written like this and manipulated everything to become capital letter, which is capitalized, right? So this is one method. Now let me press up to return, as in bring back the code I wrote last. It's something to write up, and now we write lower and press enter. You see it turned everything to lowercase. So .lower is another method again that you use with string. Now you may be asking yourself, why is these things? Why are we doing this thing we are doing? Now the thing is that if, for example, you tell somebody to give you his email, maybe you build a website or a mobile app and you want to log in the user, maybe the person can mistakenly. Maybe when the person gives you his email, we have talked about input. We have talked about input here, which is a built-in method. I told you it accepts. I think when we're doing part 3 or so, we talk about inputs. So inputs allow you to gain input from the user. So if we put input like this, now you want to get input from the user, you say, what's your email? What's your email? So the user, when you run this code, okay, because this is interactive, I will not be doing it, but when you run this code, the user can give you his email in this form. Something like this. It can give you his email like, let me say, something like this. And this is not what you need. You want it to be normal, like everything will be in the same case. If it is lowercase, I think normally, basically, everything is supposed to be in lowercase. So, but now the person give you like this. So you know that you first apply this .lower to convert everything to lowercase before you store it to your database. So the thing is that they have so many in use of this method, so that's why we are exploring them. So let's talk about another method. So now we have done the method called dot upper, we have done the one called dot lower. So let's do another method. So assuming you have email like this, user@gmail.com. So you notice there is space in both the left and the right. So this left is what we call leading white space. This right is what we call trailing white space, right? So now, when you come into removing space from your string, we have the string method called strip. So we are going to have something like, if I should say print, now I told you I was using print. If I'm using print to display it on the screen, if I should say print email, you notice there is space at this back. There is space here. And there's also space here that you probably are not seeing. There's also space here because this space we give here. So to remove space from your string, we have what the method called strip. So I'm going to just say, let me return back the last, and this I'm going to use dot strip, strip like this. You put your bracket at the end, press enter. So you see, so this strip remove both leading. Leading is the space before the text, and trailing. Trailing white space is the space after the text. So it remove both. So this strip remove both. So if I should call last memory again, instead of me to just write strip, I will say, let me say arrow strip. So this arrow strip is saying remove space from the right. This arrow like right, remove space from the right, which is this side. So if I should press enter, so you see it, this space at the left still remain, but this space at the right has been deleted, but probably you are not seeing it. So now, if we run it again, but now instead of we to say, so instead of to say L strip, we say L. Like instead of to say arrow strip, we say L strip, and press enter. So L is the left. It removes space from the left. So you see the space from the left are removed, but the one at the right is still there. So that is what this one does, like strip. This strip does. Also, we have another one called replace. Let me say you have your text like this. You can see hello. Say hello, you have name. So let's just store this first. So we have text as equals to this. This one is they use it in all this personalized email. We use it in personalized email template to send email to bulk people. And when you receive the email, you think you are the only one, or you think the bank or the company have time to write message to send to you in particular. You don't know, see that same message they send to you, they send it to so many people. It's just that where the space for, or should I say the space your name is, which is this space. When the email come to me, my name will be here. When the email come to you, your name will be here. So that is just what it actually does. So how do they do this in this thing? So you can say something like print. If I say print now, I told you print, I just want to put it on the screen. Test.replace. So replace is another method that we use. So when you are using the method replace, inside this replace, you put what you want to replace, the string you want to replace, with the string you want to use to replace it. That is just what you do. What's the one you want to replace and what you want to use to replace it. So the one I want to replace is this. So inside this one, we have name, which is what you are seeing here, this one here. That is what I want to replace. So what do I want to use to replace it? Let's use John to replace it and press enter. You see it is say hello John. So that is how this one does, like this one does. And the usage is in personalized email or personalized messages. When companies send you messages, that is what they actually did. So we have another one called split. So you want to split the string into a list of substrings. So let's say something like you have tags. You can have tags equals to let's say Python, comma, Django, okay, Django, comma, like we actually use this in tags. So you have a string like this, which is Python, comma, Django, comma, web, comma. So you want to split it like into a list of tags. So you can say print, which is the way we do normally. You say tags, which is this variable name you have here. Then you have split. So when you say split, you are, let me do it again. So you see, so when you say split, so inside this split, you put what you want to split it from, like the variable, or let's say the value you want to use to split it. So inside here, I will just put comma like this. If I put comma, it means, first of all, you should know that this split, first of all, is what converts a string into a list, right? What converts a string into a list. But which part of it you want to use to split it? Like when you are splitting it into a list, what is the, let's say, criteria you want to use? So you put comma. If you put comma, I mean after each of this comma will be used to be separating it. So now let us do it like this, and but you know that it is a string, it's not a variable name. So like this, you press enter. So press enter, you see what it shows. So it has converted the string into a list. So and it split it from this comma. Like anywhere you see comma, that is where it's used to split it. So we also have many other methods you can explore. We have .join, we have .find. Let me assume you are finding a word. So you can have something like this. Let me say word equals to, let's say, I don't want to be giving some kind of example here, but in some comment section in blog or some platform, they can say they don't allow so words. So if you write your comment, they can search. They will know if you have that word in your comment. But because this is a tutorial, I don't want to give that kind of example here. So, but let's just continue. So I can say, let's say, okay, let's just say content. Content equals to welcome to my blog. So this is text I've saved as content. Welcome to my blog. So I will say print. So inside the print, I will pass content dot find. So when you put content dot find like this, inside this find now, inside you pass what you want to find. So which is like the availability of a specific word. So if I should put blog inside and press enter, I see it responds 14. So that means this word, the index of this word is 14. So this word is found as index 14. So that is what this thing means. We can also find the index of this thing by doing something like this. So I just record the last memory. Instead of me to write find here, I put index and press enter. So return the index, which is 14. So this find and index, they are similar, just that index will return error if it's not found. So that is their difference. So we also have other ones, but because I don't want this tutorial to be very long, I will just be showing you them in brief. So let me assume str represent any string. Like str can be equals to I am coming, like something like this. So let me just assume str represent any string. It must not be I am coming. I just want to show you several other methods. So it can be to represent any string. So if I say str.count, and inside count I put sub like this, where this sub is any substring, like I want to look. Okay, let me just show you something I'm trying to say. I'll print this thing and say sub equals to let me put it in quotes, like substring equals to So if I say str, okay, let me print it out so that you just see the output. But after this one, I won't be printing it out again. So just for you to use lesser time for this tutorial. if I say stro.count, then so which is count, I put stro.count. Then inside this count, I put what I want to count, which is sub. If you press enter, it return 1. So that means it's trying to count how many of this is inside this. That is what it does. So, but anyway, just assume stro can be any string, and assume sub can be substring. So if I say something like stro.start, let me say starts with, then I put prefix inside here. Like it kind of say, I think they're saying check if the string starts with this. You understand? So in some cases, it can be when you are trying to get a website link from somebody, like you tell them to put their link. So instead of them to write https://example.com, they write something else. So you can detect that this is not a valid URL. This is not a valid link. So this is some usage of this one. So we also have some other one like end with. We have some other one like dot capitalize, which is to capitalize the first character. So that one is not like upper string. If I say something like name equals to Isaac, name equals to Isaac. So if I say name dot capitalize like this, you see it capitalize. Okay, it's not obvious, right? Let me do something. Let me say name equals to Isaac. The I is small letter. I can even make this other 2A be capital letter. So name equals to Isaac like this. So if I say name dot capitalize, so you see it capitalize only the first letter, make the other one small letter. We also have dot title, which is for test. So it capitalize the first letter also. The first letter of each word, it capitalize it. So let me say, if I say title, or let me say content equals to let's say God. Okay, God is good. So what I just did here is I just say content equals to God is good. So if I say content dot title, so what title does is that it will just capitalize the first character of each word. So let's press enter. So you see it capitalize the first character of each word. That's what it does. So let me just go over to our text editor to write other codes. What I will just do, I will comment out this area. I don't want them to be part of the code currently. I'll comment them. Let me even delete this stuff also. Let me just show some more examples that are interesting that you know. So let me assume you want to get number from somebody. Normally we have ints, right? But we want to use string. So let's get a number from somebody. You can even get the length. So let me just show you something you can have. But I'm not supposed to be introducing conditional yet, but just to show you a little way how you can create an interactive program. So let's say you can say something like, did I say phone number? Let's say phone number equals to input. Remember, we have talked about input. Input is just a way to get input from the user, and anything you put inside this quote, it will be output to the user, like an instruction for them to follow. So let's say, what is your phone number? What's your phone number? So I will reduce the screen so that you can see everything. So what is your phone number? So now when this code runs, the user will see here. When the user enters his phone number, we store it to the variable phone number. So what we want to do, we have another thing that can return the length. Normally we know that phone number, let me say the length of phone number is let me assume length of phone number is 10. So I can say if length of, so this is on that method again. So if length of phone number is 10, we can say print valid phone number. So that means this person phone number is valued. S. Now I'm not supposed to be introducing all this now, but I just want to show you how you can be using some of all these string methods for interactiveness to your program. So you can say print, let's say print, even what the user enter, I can put it here. Like what I told you, I've talked about this F string before. So F string is a way you combine string together. So we use this F string when we're also doing input. We also use this F string. So I can say, I can put the phone number now inside. This is not a valid phone number. So this is another method again that we can also use. So this is not a valid phone number. Let's save this thing and just run. So to run it, you just come to your terminal. So this is our interactive share, not our terminal. So what I will do, I will exit it. So just type exit, put bracket at the end. So I've exited from our Python interactive share. So you can press CLS to clear the screen. So I've cleared the screen. So what I will just do, I will press Python space the name of the file we are running, which is part5.py, and press enter. So you see what is your phone number. So let me see 09090909090. So let's count how many digits this is. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is already 10. So let me just clean this last 0. If I press enter, I say it's a valid phone number. So let's run it again. I'll press up to recall the last memory. I'll press enter. So now, but what I will do, I will say, let me just enter just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press enter. It says this is not a valid phone number. So you see, so this is a method now that return. This is a method that apply on a string. It's return the length of the string. So what about, let me show you something. What about if somebody now trick you? Let me do something like this again. Run it again. Now the person enter 10 digits, but you say A. This 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And press enter. It's a valid phone number. But we know this A is not a valid phone number. Okay. So avoid that kind of scenario. We now have another method that you can use in string. So it is called isDigit. So now this phone number I enter, after I've checked it like the length, I will now also check if phone number, as in phone number dot is digit, like this. So what this thing does is saying that is the phone number a digit or not. I'll say print valid phone number. I will come this one and say S. I will say print length validation pass. I will just come under and say print number validation failed. Let's just do it like this. What I will do, I will remove this part. Remove this part. So you see what I'm just doing here, I'm saying that if length of phone number is 10, which is what we want. Now, mind you, there will be a situation which we say less than, greater than. I don't want to be introducing those things yet. I want to just make it as simple as possible and as interesting as possible, while still introducing you so things you will likely see in the future. So if length of phone number is 10, I'll do something else. I will say this is not a valid phone number. Now, you know, the length, person can also go and put a string. So I'll say if phone number dot is digit. Dot is digit is like saying that, is this a valid digit? So if it's a digit, I'll say valid phone number. I'll say length validation pass, but number validation fail. You see it. So now let us save it. Now to run it, I will just come over here to our terminal and press up and press enter. So you say what is your phone number? So if I should enter that same I entered before, you know, I enter A 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now this one will pass the length validation, but it won't pass the digit validation. So let us press enter. So you see it, you see length validation pass, number validation fail. So but if I should run it again, but now I enter 0, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's count it. Sorry, let me clean it and start it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Press enter. I see valid phone number. So let's check another example in which you want to accept username from your users, but normally your instruction is that username can only be alphanumeric. That means it can only contain alphabet and number, but underscore, space, and the rest are not allowed. So you can, in that case, you can do something like this. You can say, okay, username equals to input. You know, where we talk about input before. What's your? You can say enter username. Let's just say enter username. Enter username. So the user have entered his username to it. So what you just do, you say if username dot let's say is alphanumeric. I'm trying to say, okay, is it alphanumeric, like is AL short form for alphabet, then number, like this. That is how you do it. So it's alphanumeric. Come back to always put that bracket at the end. So you can say print. Now we have not done conditional, but I'm just showing you this if. Now, but we'll still get to conditional, which I will show you all of them. So if username dot is alphanum, like it's alphanumeric, it contains alphabet and number. What I'm going to say, we'll say print. Okay, I already put, let's say valid username. Yes, like you can actually use this in your registration form. In your registration form, you can use it. You can say s print not valid. Not valid. Okay, so let's just leave it like this and go to our terminal to run it. So we'll come here, press this one, enter. It's enter username. I enter Isaac_4. It's a not valid. But if I run it again, I enter Isaac4 valid. So you see it. So all these methods that we have done, like what I told you before, it is actually a way to manipulate. It's a way to retrieve. So to test, you know, I summarize it as code. So these are what this method does. And if you want to see more list of them, you can go to your search bar in your computer, search for Python. You see the Python IDE that comes with Python. This is my own here. So I can say maybe A. I can say A. Okay, let me say name equals to Isaac. So okay, let me zoom it. Okay, let's see. Okay, this does not allow me to zoom in. I want to zoom so that you see it better, but it does not allow me. So now you can say name equals to Isaac. So what I've just done here, I stored the variable Isaac. I stored the value Isaac to the variable name. So if I say name dot, you will see what it will do. You see, it shows us different methods. These are methods you can use. You see capitalize, we talk about, which capitalize only the first letter. I told you this is different from title. Title capitalize the first letter of every word, but capitalize only the first letter. So this capitalize, this is caseful, center, look at them. End with, we talk about end with, we talk about fine, we talk about format. So you see, they talk about index is alphanumeric, look at it here. Then is alpha. So just do it, you will see many of these methods. So each of these methods have what it does. So you can just go through them. So let's I will just close this now. So let us move over to another data type called number. Okay, you already know how to express a number. So if I should say age equals to 20, so you already know that, okay, this is a number, right? So what we are going to be looking at, let's look at some operations you can carry out on numbers. So we're going to look at operation. We're still going to look at method. So operation is not really method, it's just how you use it to perform a specific task, right? So now, because of this, I don't want to make the tutorial long, I will still come to my terminal. So for my terminal here, I'm going to invoke my Python interactive shell by typing Python and press enter. So this is my Python interactive shell. So I will say something like, let's say, okay, let me just be putting the numbers straight up. So if we say 5, so there's some arithmetic, we have what we call arithmetic operation, we have comparison operation, and some other things we're going to be looking at. So talking about arithmetic operation, if you say, you can say 5 plus 3 give you 8. So in Python, you can perform arithmetic operation on numbers. So if I can still say 5 plus 3.5, you see it gives us 8.5. So that's why I told you we'll be doing the integer and float together. You know, we already know that this is float and this is integer, but we are classifying both of them as numbers. So we are doing them together. They actually work together. So talking about the arithmetic operations, just like you do in your normal mathematics, like you add, you subtract, you multiply, you can do those same thing here. So I can say 5 minus 3 give us 2. I can say 5 times 3 give us 15. I can say 5 divide by 3 give us 1.666. So you see, so we have other ones. If we are saying 5 divide 3, so this is what we call floor division. Divide the first number by the second, resulting in an integer. What we're going to have 1, like just give us 0 number. But we also have the opposite of it, which we call modulus actually. So if I say 5 modulus 3, it gives us 2, which is divide and give us the remainder. So that is what this modulus does. We can also do something like exponential. You can say 5. You see it. I put this star symbol twice, which is exponential. But if I put it once, it's multiplication. So I put it twice, which is 5 raised to power 3. So it gives us 125. Talking about comparison operation, we can still say 5. You see it, I put it twice, 3. So it say false. Like this sign is used to check if two numbers are equal. So in some cases, now let me tell you, these things we are doing, they are all important because you use them in your projects. I'll be doing more examples which will be very you'll be familiar with them. So you can use them. Probably you are building an should I say as an investment platform that, or let me say a SaaS, software as a product, software as a service platform, in which you want to make people gain access to a particular resources for a specific period. So you may want to check, okay, when is the person's subscription going to expire? Is the present time less than or greater than the expiration date of a subscription? So all these things are mathematical operations, which is what we are also dealing with. That is something like that you'll be doing in comparison. You do comparison, you will do arithmetic. Let me assume the day the person did it is 4th of July. And the person subscribed for, let's assume, 3 days plan. So if you add 3 days to 4th of July, it will give you 7th of July. So you can calculate it, you do plus 3 days. Okay, 7th of July, is it greater than or equal to the current date? If that is true, that means the person's subscription have expired, like it have used up to that, like how will I put it, the duration has either exceeded or it's not the duration. In that case, the person will lose access to that resource you give to the person. So you see, it works that way. But let us not be too fast. So I'll be doing just short, as in making it short. So let's not be too fast. So I can also say, you can say something like 5. If I put this sign, it means not equals to 3. You see, it said true, like it's 5 not equals to 3, it said true. If I say 5 greater than 3, it said true. Yes, but if I say 5 less than 3, it say false. If I say 5 less than equals to 3, it say false because it's not less than or it's not equals to 3. So you should just take note of all this one. These are just some operations you can do. Also, we have the maths module. Now we still talk about module, but we have not gotten to that level, which I was talking about packages, how you import packages. But you can import math module. You can say import math. So because this math module is like a container that have different things relating to maths. So when you import it, you can say math dot, let me say square root. You want to find the square root of a number. Inside here, you can put maybe 16. You see it gave you 4.0. So all these things are important to you. You don't know the kind of project that you'll be working on. So the project can involve calculation, the project may not involve calculation, so depending. So you can also have, let me say, absolute. We have absolute also. Absolute of -5. So it gives you 5, which is the absolute of it. You can also have something like math dot power, like it's like saying raised to power. So the first one you put, the first one is the number, the second one is the power you are raising it to. So it give you 8, which is 2 raised to power 3. It's just like you do something like 2 star 3. So sure you understand. So we also have trigonometry also. If I can say something like math dot sine. So in case you are thinking it does not have trigonometry, I can say okay, math dot pi, which is the pi. You already know pi. If you are coming from maths background, you already know pi. What pi is. For instance, I give you 1.0. So different when we talk about logarithm or log of base 10, log. So they are all there. If I say log of let's say log of 100, right? Let's say log of 100. You see, give us 4.6. So they are all different ones you can use. So depending on your own project you are working on, you can explore more about. Let me just write some project for us so that I can say maybe we do not write some project for this. Let's assume you build an e-commerce platform. So we can say something like price per item. Let's say price per item can be, let's say 19.99 as a price per item, but the quantity can be 3. So maybe the person have 3 of the item that he wants to buy. So you're going to have total underscore cost is going to give you the price per item times the quantity. So this is a basic math. So I can print inside print now. Remember this F string we have been using. So inside this I can say total cost is, inside this curly brace I will put the variable name inside, total cost, like this, and save it. So if I save it now, let us run this thing. Come to my terminal. Okay, this is my interactive share. So I will exit the interactive share. So let me clear the screen. So on my terminal here, I'm just going to say Python space part5.py. You see it gave us the total cost as 59.697, which is multiplying 3 times this. So that is what it gave us. So let us just write another example. So I will clean this one also. Okay, or let me Ctrl Z. Let me just comment it out. I will clean this because it's not needed. So you can see the original price. So this example that I want to give, it can come in a situation in which when you build your e-commerce site, you provide a space for user to put coupon code. So the coupon code can have the discount that will be attached to it, probably 10% discount, 15, 20, depending. So, and you want to reduce this cost from the total cost. So what we are going to have now, let me assume the original price is 50. So the discount rate, probably from the code the person puts, discount rate is 0.1. So 0.1 is 10% discount. So you can have the discounted price is going to be the original price times open bracket 1 minus the discount rate, the discount underscore rate. So then finally we can print it out. We'll just say discounted price. Discounted price is this. Then inside this bracket we can put the discounted price. So something like this, and save. So this is it. So let us run it. So you see the original price is 50. The discounted rate is 0.1. Then we have solving, do your normal mathematics. This 0.1 is that if the this 0.1 is synonymous to 10%, like let me put this our comment sign here, it's synonymous to 10% reduction, like 10% reduction. So that is the discount. So if the discount is 10, you just say 10 over 100. If discount is 60 over 100 give you 0.6. That's just like that. So let us run it and see what it gives us. So you see it gives us discounted price is 45.0, and the original price before is 50. But because of you are removing 10% from the cost, that's why we got 45.0. So because 10% of 50 is actually 5. So these are just some basic stuff you can come across. Let's just do one more. Let's do a situation in which you want to get the rating of when they are voting for something. So you want to get the average rating. So we are going to have rating. So we haven't done list in detail. So I think we'll be doing list next, but I've already give us a brief overview of this list. So we can have 4. We have 5, we have, let's see, 3, we have 4 again, we have 5. Let me just put it like this. So these are the ratings that will put S here. So these are the ratings somebody gets probably for his book or for his product. These are the ratings. So how do you get the average rating? Because the average rating people are going to see. If you visit a website, you see the average rating. And the average rating is the average of all the rating people have been rating the item. So I can see average rating equals to sum. So you put the sum of the rating divided by the length of the rating. So average is sum over number, like sum of item over number of items. So that is just what we did here. So the average rating is the sum of the rating over the length of the rating. So from there you can print average rating is this. Inside you put the average rating inside and save it. So let us run it and see. So the average rating is 4.2. Let us look at scenario in which you want to round up a number into some specific this thing. So I will comment this, then go up. So you can have something like this, like price the price of an item can be, let's say, 19.4, this. But you know, this is a 4-place decimal. So, but you want to output it to probably 2 decimal place. So you can have something like print. You know, I told you the reason why we use print is to display it on the screen. So you use the method round. You say price, like you pass the price to then the next one is the number, like the decimal place you want. So something like this is round, which is a method for number method here, round. So this is the bracket it have. Inside the bracket you pass 2 arguments. Like I don't want to be talking about argument and value here. So probably in another of our class I will talk about it. So this is, so when you pass these 2 arguments here, so you have price. So you put price here. How many place of decimal is 2? You put it like this. Let's save it and run it. You see what the output will look like. So it gave us 19.46 because when you convert this one to 2 decimal place, this number to 2 decimal place give you 19.46. And if you are coming from maths background, you understand how it's being done. So once this one is more than 5, you add 1 to this number here. Okay, so I've also explained some other method like the power. We talk about the power. So I'll tell you about how you sum numbers up, like making use of sum. Like if I should say sum, then inside sum you pass a list of numbers like this. It will sum them up. You can also use it to do divide by a number to get the average. We have talked about that one. Let me assume the item in someone's cart. Let's put it this way. Let's say the item in someone's cart. Like when we will get to list, we'll talk about that cart more. So let me see the items. The items in someone's cart is something like this. The cost of the item, we have one that is 45, let us say 45 naira. We have another one is 60 naira, another one is 50 naira, another one is 20, just like that. So, but you want to get the sum, which is the total cost of the item. You just say cost, or let us say total cost. Total cost will be equals to sum. Then inside you pass the items. So you can say print. Put your F, put this, you say total cost is, then you put your curly brace here, then inside it you pass the variable inside and save it, Ctrl S to save it. So if the items are this, like the cost of each of the items are this, one is 45, one is 16, one is 15, one is 20. So the total cost will be in this format. So let us run the code and see what we get. So you see, so total cost is 175 now. That is total cost of all these items here. So it gave us that price. So just take note of all these things. They actually helps. There are some times that you may want to use. We have a method that converts string to integer. So let's say user underscore age is 25. Let's say 25. So user underscore age is 25. We can do something like if user underscore age dot is digits. You know, when we're doing string, we talk about this string method called is digits, which is to clarify, like to validate if a value is a string. Like, I mean, if it's a digit, right? That is what like is digits. And int. So int is a built-in method that converts string to integer. So this int, inside the int, you pass the variable into it. You can say user underscore age. So if it's greater than 0, then what are you going to do? You can say print valid age. Valid age is, you can print invalid age. So can save this. Like now, if you can say user age is 25, although you know this is a string, this is not integer. But what we are saying here, say if user age, we actually know that it's a string, so that's why we pass this validator. Like this dot is digit. This dot is digit. It's a method that applies to string that used to check if the string can actually be an integer. Because some people can write integer, as in they can give us integer in place of string. So we want to be able to validate, okay, is this thing an integer? So we have is digit, which can know if it's a number. So this one, when it becomes true, and is another, we are trying to check again, and this is also true. Like these two must be true. So int user age. So we try to convert it to a number here. So normally we know this is a string, but what this thing does is converting string to number. So if we put the string inside, we convert it to number. That is why we have int here. So when you convert it to number, I want to check if it's greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, we print its valid age. If not, we print its invalid age. So let's save it and run our code. It said it's a valid age because why? We put 25 here. So if we put good here, let's try and run it again. You see, same valid age. If we put, let's put 25 years, save it and run it again. You say invalid age because why? The reason why here return invalid age because this cannot convert it to a number. This one self, like this is false, this cannot convert it to a number, and this is also false because this is half num. You know, we talk about another method in string called alphanumeric, like AL, like alpha, short form for alphabet, AL, then NUM. So like is alphanumeric. So I'll talk about it in string again. Let me not be bringing it here again. So these are just some methods you can check. So you can also check online. There are other methods you can also use. So some of them are found in your trigonometry also. So you can just check them out. So I think we'll be moving to lists now. So let's move to lists. Talking about lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. So I've talked about that before, that we can have something like users equals to, I said Isaac, have something like this, Isaac, James, and just like that, you have more also. So this is an example of a list. Let me zoom in a bit. So this example of a list. So just know that I can use to store multiple items. So this is item 1 in the list, this is item 2 in the list, right? And also it can hold different type of data simultaneously. So you must not store only string. You can put comma, you can say 25, you can put comma, you can say true. So it must not store only one type of data. So in other words, it can store multiple data type. Another thing you need to know about lists is that it is ordered. When you mean it is ordered, is that it have index, it has position. This one is called is index 0. Indexing starts from 0. So this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3. So just like that, as you are going front, you have more index. But if you are counting from back to this direction, this is index -1. This is -2, this is -3, this is -4. So if you are counting from front, it starts from 0. If you are counting from back, it starts from -1. So it's something you just need to know. So let's talk about some methods that work on lists. So what I will do, I will just go to my terminal, and because of time, let's not make this tutorial be too long. So I will come to my terminal and start doing this method. So I will invoke my Python interactive share by pressing Python. But before then, let me clear the screen so that this code will not be showing again. So I've cleared the screen. So I will just type Python and press enter. So this is my Python interactive share. So this is where I'll be doing the methods that applies to lists. So now if we have cat, let's assume we have cat like this. So you know cat will contain list of items. Let's say apple, let's say mango. So this is a variable cat, and it holds a list of items. I already explained to us that you use square brackets to signify a list, and you have list of items inside the square bracket. So now the first method we are going to be looking at is append. So if I should say cat dot append, so append is to add, let me put the closing bracket. You know, I always tell you when you are using method, you put dot, write the method, and you have bracket. Then inside the bracket is the arguments that the method needs. So now inside it, if I should put let's just put cherry like this. If I put cherry and press enter, what happened now is that this append have add this item to this cart. So in other words, when you see somebody click add to cart, you notice, you know, I don't want to be making this thing too long. If not, I would have go to website to show you. But when you click add to cart, you notice the cart item will increment, like the length of the item will increment by 1. Then if you click on the cart, you will see the item you add to the cart. So that is something like this that is going on. I remember I was trying to tell us originally that I classify all these these methods that add on data. I classify them as crude. So it's either they are creating, or they are retrieving, or they are updating, or they are deleting. So like this one now is actually updating because it adds to the item. So it have updates this list now. So if I should say cat and press enter, so you see it's now have sharing. So it's now it have 3 items in it. Also, we have a case in which you want to extend a list by another list. So in that case, I can say cat.extend. So when I put extend, inside this bracket now, inside this bracket, I'm going to pass another list I want to use to extend this one. Extend is like combining 2 lists together. So I'll pass another list I want to use to extend this one. So I'm going to put the square bracket opening and closing. Now this is a list. Now inside the list, let me just say, let me put like 2 fruits inside. Let's say orange. Let's say pineapple, and press enter. So if I should call back the cart now, you notice 2 items has been added to it. So you notice there is little difference between append and extend. So append, we just add only 1, but extend, you add more than 1 item using extend. So what about if you want to add item to a specific position? Because now both of them add it to the ND. Like you see, when we use append here, when we put sherry now come to the ND. Sherry now become the 3rd item on the list. But when we now put extend, we put these two now take the last position again. But what about if I want to put it at a particular position? So we have what we call insert. So I can say cat.insert. So insert is another method again. But what insert does is that it have 2 arguments. The first one is the position you want to insert it, while the second one is the value you want to use, as in the value you want to put in that position. So what I will do, I will say, let's just say 2, comma. So if I say 2, what is the index of 2 here? This is 0, apple is 0, mango is 1, this one is 2. So it's going to take the place of sherry. That means sherry will push to this right hand side. It's going to take the position of sherry there. So if I say cat.insert, I put 2. So meaning I want to put another item to be in the position 2. So what I will write now is the item I want to be in that position. I can write grape. If I write grape and press enter, now let us let me spell it. Okay, anyway, let's just leave it like that. So what I will just do now, let me write cat and print it. So when I print it, you notice grape, although this spelling is not correct, I'm supposed to put E here, sha. So, but you notice grape have take the third position because we put 2 here, and I told us indexing, like counting, start from 0. So this apple is 0, this one is 1, cherry is 2. So it take the place of cherry. Cherry will now move to the next position. So that is what happens. So insert an item. This is this insert here. Insert an item at a particular position in the list. So let's talk about remove. What about if I want to remove an item from the list? I can say cat.remove. So when you use the word remove, you put the item you want to remove. So let me remove this grape and press enter. So now let us return back our value and see what we have inside. So if you press cat and press enter, you notice grape is no longer there. We have removed grape from the list. So that is what remove does. But it removes it like, just like this is like something you do in your shopping cart. When you move an item from shopping cart, when you add an item to your shopping cart, it's something like that is also going on. Or when you are creating an item, you are updating it, something like that is also going on. So what about if you want to remove the item and return it? Like for example, there are some projects you may work on. The owner of the platform can say, okay, when an item is deleted, I want to know the item that is deleted. Probably the person maybe want to play trick on the owner. So the owner of the project said, once an item is deleted from my website or from my app, I want to know the item that is deleted. In that case, you use what we call pop. So you will not use this delete again. I mean this remove. You won't use remove. You use what we call pop. So how do you use pop? You just say cat.pop. So inside the pop, you can pass the index of the element you want to remove. So when pop remove the item, pop return it. That is a good part of it. But when you use remove, remove does not return it. So if I should say pop, I say 1. What am I trying to say? Which item here am I trying to remove? So you have, this is 0, this is 1. I'm trying to remove mango. But mind you, I would have stored it to another variable, because when you use pop, it returns the item. So let's just press enter. I think it will print it under. So you see it prints it under. But normally you are supposed to save this thing to a variable so that you can now further use it in processing. So if you notice all these methods we will be looking at, you notice some method add to the list, some method remove from the list. That is the code we are talking about. Now, what about if you want to clear the cat? When you see somebody clear cat, how do you clear the cat? If you say cat.clear like this, so this one will clear the cat. Before I do this cat.clear, if I should just write cat, press enter, notice the cat contain apple, cherry, orange, pineapple, right? Now let me say cat.clear and press enter. Now let us run our cat again and press enter. Notice, see now the cat is clear. There is no more item in the cat. So cat as in clear is a method that remove all items from the cat. So because we are doing tutorial, we still let me add one item to it. So I will use this append that we have talked about before. Let me add orange to it and press enter. So if I call the cat now, you notice orange now is now in the cat. So let me just add one more item to it. Let me add apple to it. Press enter. So if I call the cat, you see we have 2 items in the cat. We have orange and we have apple. So now let's talk about index. So how do you return the index of the item? So let's say you want to return index of a particular item in the cat. But mind you, this cat we are using is a variable name. So if you remember, if you go up, it's a variable name that we created. Look at it here. When we created it, we call it the variable name cat. It actually contains a list of items. So it's that list we will be working with all this while. as in we just say this variable name, which is cat.append, which is the append method. We use the extend method, we use the insert method, we use the remove method, we use pop method, we use clear method. Now I'm going to talk about that method called index. So if I should say cat.index, so index is like you want to return the index of a particular item in the cart. So if I say index of apple, you see the index of apple is 1. It gives you the position, like position of an item in a list. That's use index. How about if you want to count how many of that item is in the list? You can say something like cat.count. So inside the count, now you pass the item you want to count. So, but before I do this one, let me increase apple to 2 by saying cat.append inside. Let me put apple so that apple can become 2 inside. Oh, sorry, I did not close the quotes. So press enter. So now let me call the cat. Now you notice we have 2 apple in the cat. So now let us do cat dot count. So let's count how many apple we have inside. So inside this count method, you write the item you want to count inside and press enter. You notice it said 2. But if I say count, inside it I put orange and press enter, it return 1. So there is only 1 orange inside and there is 2 apple inside. So this is how you will see a shopping cart. You will see orange, you will see the number of item, and you also see the total cost of those 2 orange. Then you see if it also contain apple, you see apple, you see the quantity. If apple is 1, if you go to your shopping cart, you see it. I don't want to be going to a website to be showing you all this, but you will see it when you normally buy things online. You see they will be able to count your items, as in each item you have, the quantity and the cost. They will be able to count it for you. There is another method called sort. So what sort does is that it arranges a list in ascending order. So you can have cards. If you see it before now, let me press cards so that you see how it is. You notice it. You notice orange, apple, but normally, if you want to arrange it in ascending order, apple is supposed to come before orange, as in alphabetically. So we have a method that does that. If I say cat.sort and put this bracket at the end, I press enter. Now let us call our cat and see what it contains. So you notice apple now come before orange, because why? Sort arrange it alphabetically. But mind you, this one is permanent. We have sorted, the one that will do it temporarily. In other words, you can store that new sort to a variable, but let's not be talking much about it. So but just know that sorts arrange the items in a list alphabetically, but we have another one called sorted. So sort arrange it permanently, sorted arrange it temporarily. Like now, what I have done now, I've altered the actual cards. But if you want to have another duplicate of it, you can use sorted and have another duplicate of it. So now we have another one called reverse. If you want to arrange them in reverse order, so I can say cat.reverse like this, cat.reverse like this. So if I should run the cat now, you see it, I've reversed it, like bringing the higher alphabet ones to the beginning. Like example now, let me append another item to the list. But now I don't know the name of a fruit that starts with Z, but I'm just doing this for tutorial sake. Let me call it Zen and press enter. So if I should call my cat, you notice Zen is not at the end. You notice now Zen is an alphabet, like Z is like the least, like the last alphabet, right? So if I should say cat.reverse now and press enter. Now let us call our cat and see what you see. It's Zen is not the last one, because reverse will reverse it, like kind of a mirror effect. So it will reverse it. The last will become the first, the first will become the last. So what about if you want to have a copy of your list, like the cat, you want to have another copy of the cat? So some people can use this in case of whereby a user is logging, probably the user have not logged in. Like, let me put it this way: a login user have already added some item to their cart. So we have a cart attached to the user normally. Then now, let me assume an anonymous user is browsing this your site. I mean, that anonymous user is actually that same user that was logged in before. So now, when the anonymous user add item to the cart and probably he want to check out, we will ask the user to log in so that at least we can know who is buying item from us. So when this user log in and we detect that it's actually the previous user that was logging, we can merge the cart together. Or in some cases, you can have a copy of the cart. So that is when we use this copy. So let me assume I want to have a copy of this cart. Now I can say, let me say new cart equals to cart. Now this new cart is a new variable I'm just bringing in. I just want to store a copy of this cart to this other new cart. I can say new underscore cart equals to cart dot copy. So I can say copy. So what it, when I press enter, what it does is that it puts a copy of this cart, which is this cart we already have here. It store it to new cart. So this new cart will now be a variable we have, which is also contain these exact items. So if I say new underscore cart, you see it contains that same thing. If I should say cart also, it contains the same thing. So you can choose to modify any of them you want to modify. I can say new underscore cart dot append. So I want to append an item to new underscore cart. I can append which one am I going to append now? Let me append grape and press enter. So now if we should call new underscore cart, it now contains grape. This grape is not in the previous cart. If I should say cart do not contain grape, but new underscore cart contain grape. So we will just leave this as in we will just stop in list here. So let's move over to tuples. So tuple are similar to list, but just that tuple is or are immutable. So meaning tuple cannot be altered, tuple cannot change. You know, when I was talking about could, I told you could mean create, retrieve, update, delete, like something like this. 𝐶𝐢𝐸d, right? So in the area of tuple you cannot update in tuple, you cannot delete in tuple. So once tuple is created, the highest you can do is retrieve. So you cannot update the value of a tuple. So and also, okay, let me show you this. So this one we have here is list 2. So I will need to clean this. I can just say numbers. I can say numbers equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. So in tuple you use this normal bracket, you know, or you can call it parentheses. So you call it parenthesis or you call it a bracket. So this bracket is what you use in tuple. So and also tuple is ordered. When we mean by ordered, we mean it have index. This one is 0, like the index of the first item. I told us indexing in Python start from 0. So we start counting from 0. So this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3. So indexes start from 0, both in list, both in tuple, both in dictionary, both in sets. Indexes start from 0. So we say 0, 1, 2, 3, just like that. So tuple is immutable, meaning it cannot change. So once it's created, it cannot change, right? So just have that in your mind. And tuple have a lot of area you can use it. You have a lot of places you can use it, especially when you are building projects that you know you don't want people to alter the information. Probably you want to store your admin password, and in case of an attack, you don't want somebody to be able to change your admin password. You can store it as a tuple, so someone cannot be able to change the password. So let's look at some method you can use on tuple. So I will come back to our terminal. So you know this one we are doing before is list. So but now I want to be doing tuple on. So what I will just do is that the same thing we have done before. What I will do, I can say fruits. Then but now I'm going to use parentheses. Remember when we're doing cat, we use square brackets here. When we're doing cat, we say cat equals to like this, right? But now I want to just call it fruits, and now I'm not going to use square brackets. I'm going to use parentheses, or you can call it brackets. So inside the bracket now, I'm going to put some items. So let's say apple, let's say banana, let's say cherry. So let's just have this thing. Okay, let's just make it 4. Let's just say banana. So what I have just done now, I've just created a tuple. That is because of this sign you are seeing here, this parenthesis. So but if it's list, this parenthesis will be a square bracket. But because it's tuple we are dealing with now, so I'm using parenthesis here. So what are some methods you can use on tuple? So if I should say fruits dot count. So count is to count the occurrence of a specific item in the tuple. So inside there I can say banana. So just like we did in list, you know, we talk about count also in list. So you use count. Oops, where did I make mistake? Okay, I think you see it says fruit is not defined. The mistake is that I did not spell it the same spelling here. So I made a mistake actually in this spelling. So what I'm going to do now, let me do it again. But I'm just going to say fruits like this equals to, is a spelling that is wrong. So but let me not use this wrong spelling. Let's use the right spelling. So I will just write it again. So this is apple, this is banana, this is cherry, this is banana again. So oops, remove this sign here, put this. So this is what we have. So this is fruits. So what I'm now going to do, if I say fruits dot count, then inside the count I pass the what I want to count, banana. You see it returns 2, so we count the occurrence of that item inside. So I can also use index, like index. So index is like what is the position like of this position of this item. Mind you, it will return the first position. Since we have 2, you know, this is 0, this is 0, this is, you know, we already know the position. So let us apply it. So it will return the first position. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So it will not return this 3 since we are using banana. It will not return this 3, it will return the first one you find. The first one you find, that's what it's going to return. So let's press enter. So you see it return 1. Because why? This is 0, this is 1. So the first one is what it will return. So we also have some other use cases, like for example, if I should say user underscore record equals to Isaac. You know, as I told you, so is this thing. Let's say John. You say Mike, like this. So now you have stored user record so as these values, right? Like what I told you, you cannot change, you cannot update this thing, but you can retrieve them. So I can say username equals to user underscore record. Then inside user underscore, if I say user underscore record bracket 0, what do you think it will bring out? It will bring out what? Isaac. Because why? This user underscore record square brackets, we put the index inside, it will return that item. So if I press enter, let me call user name, you see it display Isaac on the screen. So let us talk about Boolean. So Boolean data type. So like I've explained to us before, Boolean is just true or false. That is what Boolean is. Boolean is a data type that the value is either true or false. So if I say is underscore log in, I can say equals to true, or you can say false. So that is what it is. So although it does not have some special method it works with, but it works with operators. We have both logical and comparison operators. So it works with operator, but it does not have some special method that works with it, like you saying is logging dot something. So it does not have special method that it works with, but it works with operators. Like you can say it's logging and this, or you can say it's logging less than, something like that. So those are what it works with. And some important of knowing this logical operator is like it controls the flow of your program. So we'll be doing some coding soon, so just take note of this. So it controls the flow of your program. It's help you to make logical reasoning, like it help you to compare two things together and tend to make decision, right? And once this decision, or let me say this condition, is not reached, the program will not run, like the code will not run. So those are some importance of this Boolean data type. So Boolean data type, like what I told you, it can either be true or false. So we have some logical operators like and, we have or, we have not. So depending, if you are using and, if I say something like, let me say it's login and, let me say something like as underscore permission. So if I do something like this, if it's login and as permission, but I have not defined what as permission is. So that's why I cannot just do this. But I'm trying to show you that we have some we have some logical operators like and, or, not. So if you use and, if and is between two Boolean, it means that both statements must be true for the output to be true. But if you are using or between two Boolean, okay, I think let us be writing code so that I think it will be better. So let's say something like is logged in. Is login is true. Is login is true. Then let's say something like as underscore permission. Let's say it's false. So as permission is false, but is login is true. So if I say can underscore access, so want to know if the person can access. So for it to be able to access is login and as permission. So if he's login and he has permission, that is when we can give him access to that resource we want to access. But if he's logging but do not have permission, cannot access that thing. So this output will be false. The reason being that his login is true, but as permission is false, which is what you see here. So if this part is true, this part is false, it will be false. Because why? For and to return true, both must be true. Now, if I should duplicate this line, but I change here to or. If I change here to or, so this one is going to return true. So when you are using or, as far one side is already true, the output will be true. So that is something you just need to know. Some area where they also use all this Boolean is when they are toggling something on and off. You must have visited the website. They will tell you to enable 2FA. when you click on it, it's like as saying a button will move to one side. So that is Boolean. So it's like a switch, So you on it or you off it. It cannot be on and off at the same time. It's either it's on or it's off. So if it is on, it is true. If it is off, it is false. So 0 and 1, but we are not dealing on mathematics. So, but that is basically what it is, and it works with different operators. So if for example now, let me come to our terminal here. I will just clean this thing. I can say A equals to 10. I can say B equals to 20. Now we already know A is greater than B. If I say A double equals to B, you see it is a false. So I think when we were doing the integer, the number data type, I explained all these things to us. If we say not equals to B, so I type D there, not as I want to say B, not equals to B, it returns true because A is not equals to B. If I say A less than equals to B, it say false because A is not less than B. Actually, A is not less than B. I mean, if I say is A less than or equals to 5, I mean, if I say B, it say false. So because A is actually greater than 5, right? So, but let me type it again. It's B I want to write here. If I write B, it said true. So we just need to take note of all these things. If I say A greater than B, it say false because A is not greater than B. Now, if you will come into websites or mobile app creation, we can have something like this. Let's say something like is login equals to true. Let me just clean this part like this. Let me clean this part like this and just say, okay, is login is true. So that means the user is logging. We can say if is login, like the user is logging, we can print welcome back. We put his username here, welcome back user. Maybe welcome back Isaac, depending on his username. But let's just write user, welcome back user. S, we can print please log in. So something like this. So just save it. So if you run this code now, you see since is login is set to true, we're not saying if is login. So if the user is logging, we print welcome back user. But if it's not logging, we print please log in. Mind you, we have already set it to true. But in a real life scenario, what happens is that when the user, you give the user, use your input. Talk about input, right? So you use your input to get the input from the user. So you get the username, you get his password. Then you try to use that detail the user gives to you to authenticate, to log in into your database. So if you can use that his username and his password to log in, then that means you will now set his login to true. But I'm trying to make this tutorial as short as possible. So that's why I'm just giving you and also to make it simple. So that's why I'm giving you all this example. So in a way, I'm still trying to show you how these things are being done. So, but once the user is logging, once you set this to true, before you can now say welcome the user. That is after you have used the username and password he gave to you to log in and it works. But the person does not know about it. So when you're able to log in, you redirect the person. You can tell the person welcome this on his person dashboard. So let's just save it and run it and see. So to run it, you will know this is our interactive share. So I won't be running it in this interactive share. So what I will just do, I will just exit from the interactive share. So now let me clear the screen. So on this place, now I'm just going to use type Python space part5.py. It say welcome back user because why? We have already set its login to true. So let me comment this out. So how about in a scenario in which you want to enable a particular feature. Let me assume you already have an existing mobile app or website in which people are using, but now you created a new feature, but you don't want this feature to be available to everybody. So what you do is that you put it in setting. So your user go to setting and click a button. Like what I told you, Boolean is like true or false, is on or off. So by default, you will set that feature to false. So meaning it will not be enabled on a user account. So probably any feature of your choice, so that the feature will not be enabled. So you want them to go and toggle it on, right? So we can do something like this. Let me say featured enable equals to true. So meaning like this feature enable equals to true, like what I told you, just like I did in this is login. In this case, it's when the person click the button, you make this variable as true, but by default it will be false. That is what I also told you in is login. When the person give you, when you use your input, we talk about input I think in our part 2 or part 3. So when the person give you his username and password, like what I said, is after you have logged in the user is now logging, you set his login to true. But because we are doing tutorial, I'm just giving you this example to show you how it actually works. So feature enable is true. That is if the person have clicked the button. That button you will show the person that is on or off. It's pushed to both sides. Go to some website, you see what I'm talking about. So when you put feature underscore enable is true, what you do now say if feature enabled. So you print new feature is enabled. So that means the person have enabled the new feature in his own account. Else, you can tell the person new feature is disabled. Depending on you, any statement you want to write, you can say new feature is disabled. Disabled. So something like this, disabled. So let us run this thing and see. Come here, press up. You say new feature is enabled. But if I turn here to false, remember to always save your code after running it. It say new feature is disabled. So, but mind you, like what I told you, turning here to true or false is from the user end. So from his account, he will click the button. So that is what turns it to either true or false. So now let us move into dictionary data type. So dictionary is a collection of on order of items, like on order items. When they say on ordered, it means the items are not, like they don't have indexing. Like just like we talk about in lists, we talk about in tuple, we talk about that they are actually indexed. That means they have number, so we start counting from 0, right? So but in dictionary they are not indexed, they are not numbered. So what I will do now, let me just comment out this and come here. So I've showed us before in the overview. So in dictionary you can see profile equals to, you use curly brace to represent dictionary, which is this. So this is the opening curly brace, this is the closing curly brace. So that is what you use to represent dictionary. So inside you now pass key value pair. So we have key, then colon, we have value. So that is key value pair. So in other words, a dictionary contains series of key value pair. So the first one is the key, the second one is the value. Then in between, you use colon to separate them. So you can put comma here and put another key value pair. I'll just Ctrl+C and paste it here. So this is a structure, or should I say a format of a dictionary. It can be long anyway, but you use comma to be separating the previous one from the next one. So that is how a dictionary is. So what are some areas of usage of this dictionary? As you learn coding more, you will come across what we call session management. When somebody is using a mobile app or a website, when the person is on it, you want to store the person in what we call user section, so that if the person leave the app and come back again, it can continue from where it stopped, one, or you can identify the user without the user needing to log in again. So you can know that, okay, this is the same user, so you store his session. Also, you can use this dictionary for site configuration. So when you are building site or mobile app, you want to be able to configure things, so you use it also to configure. With time, you also come across what we call JSON data, which is JavaScript object notation, JSON, like something like this. I call it JSON like this. JSON like this. So JavaScript object notation. So you also come across something like this. So it's also a series of key value pair. So just take note of that. So I'm going to be going over some method now that you can use in dictionary. So what I will do, let's go to our terminal here. So because of the tutorial sake, I will not want to be, as in the time is already going, we're already taking much time. So let me just use the interactive share. So make it shorter. So I will type my Python here, press enter. So inside this interactive share now, let me start with showing us something. So let's say something like user info. So like this thing is not new to us now, right? This is just the variable name, user info. While this part is the curly braces opening and closing. Then inside you are going to have key value pair. So I will say username, say Isaac. Let me just change it to double quotes, but it's not a must, it's not needed. So we have email. So what I just did now is that I created the dictionary. I call dictionary name user_info. Inside the dictionary, I have username, the value is Isaac, which is key value pair. I have email, the value is isaac@gmail.com. So you should know that dictionary is mutable, unlike tuple. Tuple is not mutable. So like you cannot alter, you cannot update the value of a tuple. I'll let you know that the highest you can do, you can retrieve. But when you come to dictionary, just like you do in lists, most of those things still work in dictionary. You can copy one dictionary to another dictionary. Like you can copy one dictionary to another variable, like have a copy of the dictionary. You can clear a dictionary. You can add to a dictionary. You can remove from dictionary. You can delete a dictionary. Clear it. So all those things still work here. So let us just look at them, just like we did in list. Let me say, if I say user_info and press enter, it returns the dictionary. So this is the dictionary we'll talk about here. So it returns the dictionary. But what about if I say user_info dot clear? So remember what this thing does when we were doing lists. It cleared the dictionary. Press enter. Now let us print out user_info. You see it does not contain any more item inside. So just take note of the clear. What I'm just going to do now, let me just copy this and create it again. User_info equals to, let me just create it again for the tutorial sake. So user_info. Now you see it is this dictionary, right? This is the dictionary. So let's talk about another method. If I want to copy the dictionary, I can say new_info equals to, just like we did when we were doing lists, user_info. So user_info is a normal dictionary that we know, which is this one here. So if I say dot copy, so what it does is that it copies this dictionary to this variable. This is a new variable I just introduced. So it copied this dictionary user_info using this copy method to this variable. So let me press enter. So now if I should type new_info, you see that it now contains the same values as the user underscore info, because I have just stored as in get a copy of it, right? So there are some other things you can also do to dictionary. Like if I say if I want to add new dictionary now to it, I can say user underscore info. Inside square brackets, I can put the name variable. I can say age equals to 20 and press enter. So now if I now say new underscore info and press enter, you notice age now is now a part of the dictionary. So you can see now we have age here as part of the dictionary. So let's see another scenario in which you want to create a new dictionary from key. You know, there are some websites or there are some mobile apps that you will register, and they won't ask you for your date of birth, they won't ask you for your country and some other information like your phone number. They will just make it, they can make it blank, or they can store a default value for it. Then later, only you can go there and update your profile. So in scenario like that, how do they undo it? So they can say they can have keys. Now you remember I said key is like the name. So we have key, we have the value. So they can have key, and the key can be, let's say, address. So they don't know your address, and they don't know, let's say, DOB, which is like date of birth. So they don't know your address, they don't know your DOB, but they need to store this information in their database concerning you. But you do not provide this information when you were registering. So they just have no other option than to store a default value for it. So what they will just do, they will just say, you can see something like default, let's just say default dates, which is like default dictionary, but or you can also say profile. So but what they will just do, they will use this dates function, date.from keys. So date.from keys, let me turn this key to small later. D.from keys. So in other words, form a dictionary from these keys. So D.from keys, so you pass the keys inside. So once you pass the key, you just put a default value of none. So it's trying to say the default value we are saving to a dictionary is none. So press enter. So now if you should run default dates and press enter, so the address is none and the dates of birth is none. How about a scenario in which you want to get the user email or the user username, something like that? So let me use this other example. Remember we have this example which is user underscore info. If I press enter, this user underscore info is a dictionary that contains username as Isaac and email as this. So now we want to get the email. How do we get it? We have another method that we use. I can say I can say something like user underscore info dot get. Now this user underscore info is this variable here. That is what I have here. But dot get is not the method I'm using now. So what dot get does? So dot get is just for you to pass the key you want the value for. Now I want the value for a specific key, and the key name is username. So this is the key. This is the key I want a value to be passed for. So but you can also put another argument here, which is like if this key, if the value for this key is not found, what will it return? So you can say no email provided. So that means there's no email in this space. Let me press enter. You see it return Isaac. So because why? The user underscore info dot get this key. So but if this key is not found, it will return this. So for this key to be found, value will be attached to it. So how about if you want to return the values or the keys, or let me say you want to return the dictionary itself? So we have another method called keys. So if I say user, like, okay, let me press up. So remember we say user, okay, user underscore info. Now if I press enter, you see what it return, username and this. What about if I say user underscore info dot keys? So dot key mean give me the list of keys. So the keys are username, email. What about if I say dot value? So dot value, dot values. So it returns the values. The values are Isaac. So you see, all these things we are just doing, they are just retrieving. So we can also use the one like dot pop. As you already know, pop will remove the last item. So I can say user underscore info. So I'm to say dot, but I can say dot pop, like pop. But when you are using pop, you can say, okay, is it the item you want to? So pop item, then you pass any other parameter into it. But when you just use this one, it's going to remove the last one. So if I press enter, you see, pop, we remove it and return it. So this is what it removes. The email equals to this, which is the last item in the list. So it removed the item. So we also have some other methods that apply to dictionary, like updates. Like if you're using update, you are trying to add another dictionary to another dictionary, like add a new dictionary to an old dictionary. For example, you see user underscore info already contains just username, which is Isaac. So it contains just only one value, right? Like one key value pair, right? So now if I want to update it, it's like I want to add another dictionary to it. I can have a new dictionary. I can call it maybe something like let me see, info. Let me just call it info, and say the info is date of birth. So date of birth can be 20th July. So then you can say address, let's say USA, and press enter. So this info now is a new dictionary on its own, right? But you want to use it to update user info. So what we just do, we just say user underscore info dot update. So inside this update, you pass the this info variable, put it inside. So we have dot like this and press enter. So now if we should call user underscore info now, you see it now that it now have the date of birth and address inside it. So these are just some of the method that applies to dictionary. So now let us move over to sets. So sets in Python is a collection of unordered unique elements. Like it's a collection of elements, and these elements or these items, they are unique. One. Secondly, it is unordered. That means it does not have this indexing thing that you say 0, 1, 2. It does not have this indexing thing. That's something you need to know about it. And also, you use curly braces just like you did this in your dictionary. So I can come here and let's just comment it. So let's comment it and say tags. So tags, okay, so tags, so we can say, let's say good. I say good, let me put another one. Let's say beautiful. And the rest. So you notice this, let me zoom in a bit. So you notice this symbol we use here is the same symbol we use in our dictionary. Look at our dictionary here. It's the same symbol. The difference is that it does not have key value pair like the dictionary. Instead, it just have should we just say values? It just have the values, not key value pair. So this is one thing you need to know about sets. So it is almost the same thing like dictionary, but you have only value. Another thing is that it is unordered, meaning nothing like 0, 1, 2, no. It does not have number. And also it is mutable. So mutable meaning it is changed, like it can be changed. So you can add more items to it, you can remove items from it. So it's mutable. So another thing you need to know is that this set of 18, it have a lot of usage. So the simple usage, what I give you here as tags. So, and you notice what I did here, I did not repeat one value twice. If you repeat it twice, when it's printing it, it will not show you that same item twice. Okay, for example, I go to our terminal here, I say tags, I say, this is a symbol now for this thing. So inside I said, let me say good, comma, let's say beautiful, comma, let's say nice, then let's say ugly, then let me change this ugly to this, let's change it to good. So I'll press enter. So now what I just did now is that I just say tags equals to this, right? These are tags, probably tags connected to a blog post, tags connected to a product or whatsoever. So if I should print out the tag, sure, you will be expecting everything as you are seeing it here. It won't come out like that. You won't see the other good. So let's just enter it and see. So you see we have good, we have nice, and we have beautiful. So in no ordered form, one. Secondly, you notice it removed the good that duplicates. It duplicates good, it removes it. So it do not show us the good twice. So that is why we are saying that is for uniqueness. You use this for uniqueness. So let's go over some method you use in tag. So let me assume we have a tag like this. So let's say blog. Okay, let's just say Python, put another one, we say CSS. Let's just leave it like this and press enter. So this is a tag that we just created. So the first method we're going to be looking at is add. So I'm going to have tags.add. So what do tag.add does? I know you already know what it does, right? To add tag to it. So let's add tag and call it HTML and press enter. So now if you print our tag, notice HTML is now inside the tag. So mind you, like what I told us, set contains uniqueness. So an element cannot appear twice inside. So even though if you do it again, that means you have added another HTML to it. If you run the tag, you see it still contains only one CSS. So only one HTML. So that is for add. So .add method is used to add an element to it. So let's do another one, remove. So instead of it to say, oops, okay, let me clean this. Let's say tags dot remove. So I believe you already know what the remove will do. Remove will remove an element or an item from the list of tags. So let's say CSS and press enter. So now if we should print out our tag, CSS is no longer there because we have used remove to remove it from the list. Now we also have another one similar to remove, is discard. So we have tags dot discard, CARD, discard. So the difference between discard and remove is that discard, if the item is not found, discard will not return error message. But if you are using remove, if it is not found, like if that item you are attempting to remove is not found, it will return error message. That is different between both of them. So in this discard, so let me put the one I want to discard. Let's say HTML and press enter. So now if we should run the tag contains only Python. So you use discard if you do not worry if the tag exists or not. So But because of tutorial 6, I will need to add, let's just add to it first. So I will say tags dot add, so at least it will have some tags inside because of the tutorial. So I will say dot add, let me add HTML back to it. So now if I run tags, now you see it contains these two. So now let's use another method called pop. So what to do to pop do? So pop remove and return the element, just like when we were doing lists, when we're doing okay, we cannot use pop on tuple because tuple is immutable. But when we are doing lists, we talk about pop. Our pop remove the item and return it. But when we use remove just remove it, it do not return it, right? So now the same thing here. So since we already have this our tag, we can say tags.pop. So when you use this pop, it remove any item from the list. So just press enter. So what it remove is HTML. When we're using pop in lists, we said that it removed the last item. But this one now, and mind you, pop, you can also put a index in pop, but this is not list, and I don't need to be going through every single method because there are many of them. But I'm just going through the commonly used ones that you will likely use in your projects, in your applications. So this dot pop will randomly remove one this thing from it. So in this case, it's remove HTML. So another set method we're going to look at is clear. So clear, just like you already know what clear does. Now when we use do lists, when we do dictionary, we also use clear. So clear will clear the set. So if we say tags, first of all, you see it, tags contain Python. Let me even add let's add one distinct to it. Let's just say we add JavaScript to it. So if I should press tags, you see it contains JavaScript and Python. So but now let me use clear method now to clear it. So if we say tags.clear like this, so what happens is that it clear the distance. So if we say tags, you see it contains an empty set, so nothing is inside. Okay, so let us create a new tag. I will say tags1. Let me say tags1. Say blog, and then let's say Python. So tags2. So let's say tutorial, and then coding. So this is two sets I've just created. So the method we are going to be looking at is union. So when we say union, is like returning a set containing all elements from both sets. So if I say something like, let's say tags1 dot union. So inside this one, what are you unioning with it? What are you bringing together? So I'll say tags2. So you see, it returns combination of them. Another area you can use this union is something like when you are doing a backup, you have a local copy of probably your website, your database of your website, or let me say data. It can be any kind of data. So when you want to update your local copy, so you will not want something, a particular one to duplicate. So when you use union, you combine them together and none will duplicate. So if, for example, like tags, this tags1 have something else, as in it have, let me assume it have ball attached to it. Okay, I think we should just do it. Let me do something like this. Tags1 dot add. So let's add ball to it. Then tags2 dot add. let's also add but to it. So that means tags 1 now contain but, tags 2 also contain but. If I put tags 1, you see but is part of it. If I put tags 2, you see but is also part of it. Now they have but in common. So, but if you union them, the union won't contain 2 but, because the whole essence of the union is to eliminate any difference. To eliminate any common. Like set normally does not accept same element appearing twice. So if you union them, I'll just press up. So if you do their union, you see but do not appear twice, it only appear once. So that is for union. So union is combining 2 sets, and it have a lot of usage. Another one is intersection. If I should say something like let's say tags 1, like tags 1 dot intersection. So intersection tag 2, tags 2. You see it return but. So this is what they have in common. So this intersection return a set containing only elements that are present in both sets. So it's what they have in common. So one application of this one is all these online dating platforms, like even social media platform like Facebook and the rest. They use this thing to show you how will I put it, like people you can be interested in. So like all these online dating platform, all these platforms that match people with similar interests together. So they will have the interest of a person, as in of user 1. They will have interest of user 2. So just assume interest of user 1 is what we call tags 1, which is these tags. The interest, these tags can be maybe his favorite color is blue, he like eating rice, anything in that format. So this can be the interest of user 1. This can be the interest of user 2. So you are interested in someone you have something in common with. So they are going to use this intersection to get what is common to the both of you. Then if there is something common both of you, they will connect both of you together. So we also have another method called difference. So it returns a set containing elements that are in the first set but not in the second. So if I should say something like just the way we are doing, I'll just come here. It's okay to write intersection here. I'll just write difference. I'll just write difference and press enter. So what is in the first one but not in the second? So what is in tags here but not in this? Hope you are getting it. So if you check it, is blog and Python. So we also have some other ones like symmetry difference. So it returns a set, as in return a set containing elements that are either or in both of them. So that is what it actually does. So it returns a set. It returns a set containing elements that are in either of the set but not in both of them. So either from A and B but not the one they have in common. So which is like the opposite of this one. So we have tags the difference. So this one now, it return the difference, like what is in this tags 1 not in this one. But if we use symmetry difference, what symmetry difference now does is that what do they not have in common? That is just what it means. So if I should just come here and instead of to say difference here, I will put symmetry underscore difference. So we have symmetry underscore difference. So it's like saying it's not what they have in common, what they do not have in common. So you see it. So now they don't have this in common, they don't have this in common, they don't have this in common. So also all those platforms also use it. They were like even Facebook, many of all these social media platforms, they use this thing. So they will check, okay, this person is sending friend requests to this person. What do they have in common? That is union. What are the things they don't have in common? So they will weigh the weights, like to know whether, okay, is this person, things like that. So just do your own, just study these things more. You will see a lot of applications you can actually use them to build. So this is the end of this particular part. So we'll be moving to our next part in the next video. But just know that these are the common data types we have. So we talk about string, we talk about int, we talk about float, which is decimal, the one that have decimal points. We talk about list, we talk about tuple, we talk about boolean, we talk about dictionary, and we finally talk about sets. So these are the common data types you have. You know, some other people can also say that we have some non-common data type like complex number, range, bytes, non-bytes. So, but they are not really common, and you will rarely use them in your applications. But these are the common ones that in most cases you will use when you are developing projects. So thank you very, very, very much, and I will see you in the next video.